Welcome to Improv for the podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to discuss what it takes to build a character. Let's hit it. Welcome to Improv for the podcast, and on this week's episode, you're going to sit down with me, the host, Michael E. Evans, and we're going to talk about, a little improv theory. We have these episodes come up every now and then, but this is one I've been thinking about recently, just what it takes to build a character. And this is a big part of the sketch comedy class I teach here at IFTP, but I also think, it's so applicable to our improv work because all the sketch stuff I teach is also rooted in improv. So building characters, creating characters is such an important tool in your scene work. So I wanted to kind of discuss kind of the three different parts of that I believe are pretty important to know about and kind of think about as you're going into your scene work. People always have so many things they're thinking about. They're like, I shouldn't ask questions, don't say no, blah, 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 all these different things. But these are some different tools and techniques to help get you out of your head and get you into that yes and mindset, right? So with that said, there's kind of three different topics that I want to talk about on how to build a character that I think can really benefit and feed into your improv work. So the first one is your body. The second is your voice. And the third is, it's kind of multiple one. It's like your point of view, emotion. Yeah, kind of those two things, point of view and emotion. So we'll break down those three topics, talk about how to build a character. I'll give you some exercises. So let's get into it. All right, so the first part, your body. Your body is the greatest tool that you have, especially in improv, right? Your body is what you use to build everything about the scene, the environment around you, the objects that exist in the space, and your character. So to me, your body is such a great way to help you or kind of inform the character that you're playing as in any given improv scene. So for example, right, how you move on stage immediately as the scene starts influences the character that you are playing in that scene, right? What part of your body that you lead with, your chest, your elbow, your gut, your knees, your neck, your nose, your groin, right? All these different choices can influence a character, right? If a character is super confident, maybe they lead with their chest, and that kind of informs everything else, right? You figure out how this character moves, you make a choice, and the rest will fall into place. I lead with my chest. I'm going to sound very confident. Maybe like some sexy guy, like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, no, I'm here to fix the pipes, right? Just making that choice, leading with your chest. Man, I can just feel it, the confidence, a different sort of energy, right? Maybe hunching up your shoulders. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Oh, wow. Little subtle things like that. Again, the rest of it falls into place. So again, to simplify this, right? How can you use your body? Just maybe at the top of the scene, or maybe when you're about to make an entrance in an improv scene. Just make a choice with how you enter, how you walk. Like, what type of gait does this character have? Do they kind of have a limp going on about them? They lead with an odd part of their body? Are they hunched over? Are they straight up? Like, is their posture too good? Or is their posture horrendous, right? Maybe you're starting sitting in a chair. Think about that. How your body positioning can inform the rest of your scene. Such a powerful tool, right? And not only does it give yourself information about the character you're playing, it also gives information to your scene partner, and they can help kind of label you in what's going on. They see you slouching in your chair, that informs them that your character is dealing with something emotionally, right? And that can help feed the scene. And these are all things that can happen within the first couple of moments to really get your scene off the ground and running. So sometimes when we're talking about this in sketch class, particularly the body, an exercise I like to have my students do is something called a character walk. I did not make up this exercise. I can't remember where I learned it, but it's one that I love. I think I learned it in a movement class. But the whole point of the exercise is that you are moving about the space just kind of as a neutral version of yourself. And then you kind of morph into these different people. So I'll give a prompt like, all right, I want you to lead with your chest, right? Kind of see what that looks like. Okay, I want you to lead with your right elbow and see how that informs the character, right? just getting these simple prompts and being like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. And these characters naturally develop just from simple prompts. Then we take it even a step further. We do something like, now I want you to walk around as if you just won the lottery, right? And you see people, maybe they're skipping, they're jumping, you see smiles on their faces, right? Just their body changes. They're not making sounds. No words are coming out, just all physical. Tell them they're having the worst day of their lives. How does that change? How does their posture change? They slouched over, the speed at which they move, right? These are all very simple things you can implement into your scene work. Next time you're about to pop in on stage, make a quick choice for your character, Worst case scenario, all you have to do is justify it in the scene, right? You make a choice that you're hunched over all the time. You justify it with your character, right? It gives you something to go off of immediately and can feed into the scene you're already working on. So that's that first segment, your body. How can you use it? It's your greatest tool. Try that exercise if you're alone. If you're walking around at home, I definitely do this. It's very weird, but I definitely do this. I'm walking around, I try different things, kind of just see what energy comes from how I move about the room or move about the space. My poor wife has to deal with it. I don't just do this when I'm home alone. No. This is happening at any possible moment. I could be slipping into one of these exercises, trying out how I can move and change my body to fit the needs of a scene. So moving on, that's body. Think about your posture, your positioning, body parts that you can lead with, how it influences your character and the rest of the scene. The next thing that might be important for you to think about is your voice, right? Gosh, we have all these tools, right? Our body is our first tool, but our voice is our second. And the reason I put body first is because that's something at the top of a scene that can inform things right away. Next comes your voice. You might not have the opening line of a scene, right? You might speak second. You might be coming in late. I don't know. Every improv scene is different. But with your voice, again, there's so much that you can do. Singers often call their voice, right, their instrument. The same is true for an actor, an improviser, any sort of performer who's speaking, right? Your voice is such an incredible tool. And you don't have to be a master at all these different accents to be able to use your voice, right? We've all, over the years of life, put on different voices, high-pitched voices, low-pitched voices, how quickly you speak. All these different things you can control, right? Maybe you're doing an impression, even if it's bad, it can still be interesting. Maybe you're talking in like Shakespearean tone. My lord, doth thee protest? Things like that can influence a character, right? And again, making this choice just off the top of your head when a character enters can give you something to work with, can give your scene partner something to work with. There are so many different voices that you can try out, right? And especially if you've already made a physical choice, boom, this next building block is your voice. Okay, so I know how I move, so maybe I talk like this, and I'm a bit creepy. I move in the shadows, yes, and I'm some sort of advisor to a king looking to corrupt the kingdom. Yes, right? All of that right there is just, I kind of had a posture to go along with that voice. Don't let if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I suck at accents, I can't even do like a British accent, like, don't let that get in your way, because even a bad British accent can be funny, and that's one of the most like universally appreciated accents to do in any improv scene. Note to all listeners, though, don't think you have to do a British accent in every improv scene. Please don't do that. That would be bad. But the point is this. Don't let you thinking you're bad at a British accent or, I can't really do voices. Don't let that get in your way, right? Just find something, Let your voice take you somewhere. Think about how this character speaks, right? Based off their body. How might they speak? Maybe they use big words. Maybe they're incredibly verbose. Maybe, this character cares about word economy and they just keep it brief. Keep it short. Keep it brief. Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. For sure. Oh, yeah. Maybe they speak in, only business lingo. Oh, yeah, sure. We'll circle back on that. Let's put a pin on that. We'll talk about it later. All right. Let's take a 5. Just take a couple of moments to reflect. And then, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic, right? Your voice. You are the only one that has your voice. You are the only one who can change your voice in different ways. So, for your body, I gave you an exercise. If you're ever at home, try walking around, moving in different ways, leading with different parts of your body. For your voice, same thing, right? Your voice is a great opportunity to just play with it, to see what characters come from trying, highs and lows and everything in between. Because characters that you can find outside of class can seep into your scene work. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because the whole point of you being a unique improviser is what you bring into the scene, right? Your influences, your knowledge, your reference, right? That's what makes you unique as a performer, because there's no one else like you. So think about that with your voice too, with your body, with your voice. So next time you're at home, alone or not alone, or next time you're in the car, in traffic, next time you're ordering at a drive-thru and, you're not scared about any consequences, not that there would be, that's the time to try out a voice, try out a character, right?
Yes, I'd love to order. Let's see, and, espresso martini, please. But please don't put any lemon in there.
Now, that may get me kicked out of the bar, but I had fun doing it. And that's the point, right? These voices are an opportunity to just play a little bit. And you can practice these on your own so that when it does come into scene work, maybe you just make a choice subconsciously. You're like, all right, it's this guy's coming out. You don't really think about it. Because again, practicing these things, how you move with your body, the different voices that you can pull out of your bag of tricks almost, it's not meant for you to make these choices before you go into an improv scene. It's so you already can do them. So when you are in an improv scene, they come to you naturally, right? Depending on what you need to serve the scene. So those are the first two building blocks again, your body and then your voice, right? Just try it out sometime. Get in the car, talk in some voices, do some weird stuff. Pretend you're a newscaster, Just do it. Don't be afraid to be weird. Everyone's doing weird stuff in their car. They're picking their noses. They're listening to music they wouldn't tell anyone about. They're having sing-alongs. So what if you're practicing characters? It's LA. Like 50% of the people are probably trying to run a monologue or sides as they're on their way to an audition or work or something. So just do it. Don't be afraid. So that's the voice. All right. So the third part of building a character kind of goes with your point of view and emotions, right? Point of view and emotion. So point of view, right? That is your character's perspective on things. It could be as simple as your character thinks cats are way better than dogs. And we see that influence throughout the scene, It could be more related to the issue at hand, the what of what is going on in the scene. How does your character feel about that? What is that point of view? Are they excited? Are they angry? Are they nervous? Right? We find that out as the scene goes on. And then your emotions as well. So at the top of the scene, there's 3 things that you can do. You know how your body's going to move. You make some quick choice with your voice, and you make a quick choice with the initial emotion you have in a scene, right? And again, that all adds to the scene because it gives you something to work off of, and it gives your scene partner something to work with as well, right? You're adding information, right? You're not just throwing out a neutral sentence. How's the weather?
Oh my gosh, I hate this weather.
Is that the best opening line? No. But delivering it, having that, the way your body and your voice, and we know the opinion on the weather all right there. That's at least something, It's not a great opening line. Never start with the weather. That's small talk. Nobody wants to see that. But for this example, right, that line gives a lot more information than, oh no, the weather, I don't know. Just, you're bringing a little spice, a little seasoning to it. So your point of view, right, in a scene and in life, every character, every person has a point of view. And it's up to the actor to share that with whatever character they're playing. If they're playing a parent, a family member, a friend, an employee, a boss, Santa Claus, whatever you're playing in a scene, you have a certain way you feel about something. And that's kind of the fun, the discovery of your character in an improv scene, is that you're finding that out at the same time as the audience is, right? How does so-and-so feel about this? Because again, scenes are always about, we're more interested in the relationship of the scene, right? What these two characters have invested in each other. So point of view really adds to that. And so does emotion, right? If you start a scene, you're coming in hot, you're coming in upset, that's interesting. I, as an audience member, are hooked, right? So you can kind of see how these things build up together. And so one exercise you could do to practice this third thing, point of view, strong emotions, is just almost initiate some improv scenes while you're by yourself again. This one kind of goes along with voice, right? Throw out some opening lines that are strong point of view or strong character based. I fucking hate marbles. That's... What? Okay, I want to get into that a little more. I don't think anyone feels that way about marbles, But that's a scene right there. That's something you can build off of, right? So just kind of give yourself that opportunity to initiate. Something's not quite right about this coffee. I should write down this clue. Things like that, right? These are opening lines that the point of view there, the emotion, right? It gives us something to work with. And to kind of tie this all together, right? These three different things: your body, your voice, your point of view, and emotions. You have to start with body and build up from there, right? It's the first building block. You start with your body. Your body influences your voice influences your point of view and your emotion that your character has. You need all three of these things to have a successful character, but it really starts with your body. Now, to clarify here, this sometimes can happen in reverse. You can enter a scene with a strong emotion, and then the rest comes afterwards. That happens all the time. But often for me personally, I love to start with my body and build up from there. But it's an interesting thing. This can go in reverse. They don't have to go in order. I just think as a general premise, if you're getting started with character building or are interested in learning more about it, it can be really great to start. Here's how my body is. Here's what my voice sounds like. This is my point of view and my emotions. But again, it's not always going to be that natural or that easy. And with that said, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, this work, these kind of three things, right, is what I like to fold into work in the sketch comedy class, right? If we're creating a sketch, right, if you're writing a sketch, you want to be able to understand these three things about a character. If you think of iconic sketch comedy characters or even improv characters you've seen over the years, you're probably able to identify these three different things about them, right? Think of Chris Farley, Matt Foley, Van Down by the River, right? We know how he moved. He used his physicality, his voice, and we understood his point of view, right? His whole mission was to scare kids so they didn't end up like him, living in a van down by the river. All very strong and distinct things that built that character. You can apply this template to any sketch comedy character you like, and I believe that it will hold up. Man. This stuff gets me jazzed. So again, with this episode, I just want you to challenge you to look at your own work in improv class, in your next show, in your next, exercise that you do. Think about these things as you're going into your scene work, right? Use your body, use your voice, use point of view and emotion to influence this work, because you're probably already doing it. And if you just tweak a couple things, if you're just a little more intentional about it, it can really make your scene work soar, and it can help your partner as well, which is what improv is all about. You making choices to help the scene and set up your partner for success. That's what this helps you do. If you know these things about your character, how they move, how they sound, and how they feel, it's going to make the work so much easier for your scene partner. Right? Improv is a generous art form, so make choices that are generous and serve the other person in the scene. So with that said, to summarize, the three building blocks of a character are your body, your voice, and your point of view and emotions. Those three things. And as I mentioned earlier, right, and I'll say it again because I do these things and I'm a crazy person, and not that I'm the best improviser or anything, but, I like to do exercises that help, keep you sharp. We can't be in class all the time, right? Can't. It's unfortunate that Matt doesn't offer 24-hour improv classes anyway. But the point is, right, keep your skills sharp. There's always something that you can work on or prepare yourself for the next time you're in a scene. Use body exercises, the character walk, how you move. Try that when you're at home. Try that when you're in work. Maybe not at work. That's a risky one. Try that when you're at home. How do you move about the space? With your voice, Try different characters. What kind of voices do you have? What's in your repertoire? Doesn't have to be the most amazing accent, right? None of us are Meryl Streep. None of us are master impressionists. But just see what voices you have in you. I think you might surprise yourself. And finally, point of view and emotion. Just force yourself to do some initiating lines, right? I swear, if I hear that ringtone one more time, this relationship is over. I'm in it. I wanna see that scene. I'm there, front row. I am seated. Try those exercises when you're by yourself. Bring it into your scene work. It's not gonna make you worse. That's not a great guarantee. But the point is, right? Stronger characters means stronger scenes, means stronger opportunities for your scene partner, for you to go back and forth and set each other up with success. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you found some of this information helpful. I'm excited to see the characters that spawn from this. Character work is a big passion of mine. And as always, we'll be back next time with another episode. Got more great interviews coming up. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast, Improv for the Podcast, can be streamed anywhere you listen to podcasts. See you next time. Improv for the Podcast was created by Matt Moore and Michael Lee Evans. Edited and produced by Michael Lee Evans. And finally, presented by Improv for the People. Interested in more IFTP? You can visit us at improvforthepeople.com or on our socials, such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Remember, new episodes are released weekly. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.